Welcome to Stylist Soul Tribe Conversations. I'm your host, Lisa Huff. Over the last 5 years, I've coached hundreds of hairstylists and beauty industry professionals, helping them work their dream schedules exclusively with their dream clientele and earn their dream income, all while fostering genuine connections and lifelong friendships inside the beauty industry. In this podcast, we dive deep into abundance, manifestation, business building strategies, and creating a life that you are truly proud of, both behind the chair and at home. Are you ready to embark on a journey of personal growth, success, and sisterhood? Then hit that subscribe button now and get ready to experience the pure magic of Stylist Soul Tribe Conversations. Hi guys, welcome back to Stylist Soul Tribe Conversations. It has been a minute since I have recorded a solo episode. The last however many episodes, what are we on, number maybe like 8 at this point? The last many episodes have been batch recorded and pre-recorded way in advance. So I really just wanted to take a second before we dive in to say thank you genuinely so much for such an incredible launch of this podcast. I am recording this episode right now on December 12th. It's going to go live on the 27th, so in about 2 weeks. So this feels a little bit more true to time. I haven't had a chance to get on here and just say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm still receiving messages on a regular basis with your guys' feedback from the podcast. I couldn't have asked for this launch to go any better. You guys are receiving it so well, and I am so incredibly grateful. So I've learned that I think I shine in an interview setting. I'm getting really good feedback. I got really great feedback from the intro episode, which it's just, let me just say this. I know a lot of you listening probably don't have podcasts, maybe never want to have a podcast one day, but maybe you do want to have a podcast one day. Sitting alone in my office with these bright lights on me, this camera on me, just me, my microphone, my equipment, trying to put together like a easy to listen to podcast episode that makes sense, that has structure for 45 minutes is not easy to me. I am so much more conversational. So this is obviously a solo episode. Bear with me. I think I'm going to get better at doing these in time. But you've probably noticed we've had a lot of interviews thus far. We will probably continue to have a lot of interviews, but I really wanted to sit down today and record this solo episode because tomorrow, December 28th, we are kicking off our annual vision casting workshop. I have hosted a vision casting workshop for the last 4 years. This will be the 5th one that I've hosted inside of Stylist Soul Tribe. And each year we just keep making it bigger and better. And this is by far the biggest workshop that we have done to date yet. And I just wanted to share what I have in store tomorrow, Friday, in the next 12 days, because this vision casting workshop that kicks off tomorrow is going to be a 12-day experience. So in this episode, I plan on covering the power of vision casting, what to expect from the workshop. We are offering a VIP experience for the first time, so I'm going to tell you all about that. Any last-minute preparation tips to get you ready for the vision casting workshop, and just overall what my plan and my intention is. All right, so let's kick off with the power of vision casting. You guys heard my life story. You kind of know that I've gotten really into the law of attraction, manifestation, intentional living for the past, let's say 7 years or so. I've been very intentional with it. The last 4 years specifically, I've gotten really serious about creating vision boards. I actually I pulled my 2023 vision board off my wall that was just right over there in the corner because I keep it hung up in my office so that it is always, front of mind and I can see it every day. But I actually pulled out 2020, 2021, and 2022's vision boards out of my closet as well because I do hang on to them. And I think it's really cool to just take some time to look over them every once in a while and see where my brain was at the start of that year, what my intention was, and how many things have come to fruition. And now that I've done them for so many years in a row, it's really cool to see back in 2020 what I thought was dreaming really big is nothing to me now. That's just so wild. So if you guys have never made a vision board before, obviously you need to come tomorrow. You need to be part of this experience. but those of you that do make vision boards, I highly encourage you to hang on to them. We do have some people who do like bulletin boards or virtual, like digital boards or things like that, or they take things off as they come true, or they have like evolving vision boards, and you can do whatever you want. There's no rules for this. But I do think it's really cool to look back at what I was envisioning and manifesting years ago and seeing how those have come to life. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're in luck because I'm going to share my board. If you're listening to this podcast on any platform, I'm going to explain to you kind of some of the things that are on my board. But if you want to see my old boards, feel free to go to YouTube and check the video out there. So I'm going to kick us off with 2020. So again, those of you that have video, and I'll probably clip this up and put it on Instagram and TikTok as well. So here's my 2020 board. It has some blank spaces, but it's pretty full. Hang on, sorry, I don't want to cover my microphone. I'm gonna show it to the camera real quick. Okay, so that's the 2020 board, and I'm just peeking at it, and some things that are standing out to me is I have a sold sign from my realtor that we used back when we lived in Lincoln. Our house was on the market in 2019, and I was really hoping that it would sell and we would move to our dream home, and that came true. It actually is wild. I do have a podcast logo on this vision board all the way back in 2020. It was not called Stylist Soul Tribe Conversations. I thought I wanted it to be called the Soulful Stylist Podcast. I actually have that on many of these boards, but that vision wasn't fully, I don't think fully created in my mind yet. So I know I wanted to create a podcast. I had a financial goal of $250K that year. I don't think I hit that in 2020, but I have thus since hit that. So I've bumped that up. I have a home gym, which I now have. I have my son's room inspiration, my office inspiration. I have some exercise inspiration. I have a picture of Cinderella's castle at Disney World, which we took that trip last year. I have a lot of things. It's really cool to look back on this and see either what doesn't feel in alignment anymore, and I'm trying to see if there is anything that isn't really what I'm interested in anymore. There's a course idea I had up at the top of this, a course that I thought I wanted to come out with one day, and that doesn't really feel in alignment right now. But outside of that, almost everything on this board has taken place. I had that I wanted to run a 5K. I've done that. So since 2020, just about everything on my board has come to life. I'm gonna peek at 2021 now. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, you will be able to see it. So I'm gonna hold this in front of my mic, so I might get quiet for a second. Okay, 2021 has a whole lot less blank space. I got more and more and more serious about these vision boards as the years went on. So what has come true? This one you can tell I dreamed a lot bigger on. So I wanted to spend, time with my family. I have my family on there. I have Soul Tribe pictures on there. I have like family game nights. I have some quotes that mean a lot to me. I have the Soulful Stylist podcast. I have that same course that I wanted to create. I have a car that I don't have yet, but I don't know if I want that right now. I definitely don't want a high car payment right now. That doesn't feel important to me right now. On 2021, I have 75 hard, which is like a fitness challenge that I did. I completed that. What else did I want back then? I wanted to hit 100 members in Stylist Soul Tribe, which I have hit that. Yeah, it's really, really cool to look back on these. I have number goals. I have words that stood out to me. I wanted a pool in my backyard. I don't have that yet. I still want that, but yeah, lots of really cool things. I have a 10K on there, which I have not done a 10K yet. I have done a 7K, but the last 3 years, I think I've had a 10K on there. So I really need to add that to 2024 and make that happen this year as well. Okay, and then moving on to 2022, again, I'm going to show it to the camera. This is kind of vulnerable sharing my vision boards, but it's okay. I'm totally cool with doing that, so I'll go ahead and share it. Okay, and on this vision board, what do I have on here? I have retreat pictures. I knew we were going to be hosting the retreat in 2022 at the Hoxton Hotel in Chicago. I have pictures of those locations. I have a class that I wanted to take, Profit Lab for Beauty Bosses. I did that. What else do I have on here? I wanted to get my 100K Kajabi pin, which I have gotten, so that's on the board. I wanted to join Stu McLaren's mastermind. I have that on here, which I have done. I haven't looked back at these in a long time. This is really cool to look at. Some renovations I wanted to do to my house. Those, not all those have been done yet. Some of them have. I have Disney World on that one too. I have kind of like a rebrand, which I did end up doing in 2022. Yeah, it's really, really cool to look back on. I have, sushi dates. I have my sister. I have my best friend Riley. I just have people on here that are important to me that I knew I wanted to spend a lot of time with. I have verbiage for a price increase because I knew I wanted to earn one in my business. I've got really cool things on 2022. This is fun to look back on. And now I will peek at 2023, which is just this most recent year. All right, so 2023, which we are wrapping up right now. Like I said, I just took this off of the wall in my office. So a lot of these have not come true yet because I dreamt very, very, very big at last year's vision casting workshop. A lot of them have. Let's go over what has come to fruition. I have pictures from Alter and Loft 606, which were the two locations that we hosted this year's retreat at. I do have a journal on there. I didn't know what it would look like, but we have launched the Stylist Soul Tribe Grateful AF journal this year. I have all my Kajabi pins. I wanted to, like I said, in 2022, I hit the 100K. I got my 250K Kajabi pin. But this last year, I also have the 500K and million on there. Haven't hit those yet. I bumped my number up real big time to 700K a year. Truthful share, nowhere close to that quite yet, but I will be. I'm going to keep that there until I hit it. I have spending time with my family. That's always important to me. I do have pictures of a lot of facials. I wanted to be really intentional with my skincare this year, and I actually have been. What else? I have yoga on there. I've taken yoga classes this year. I have a family camping trip, which I have done. Float tanks. Those are the main things I see that have come to life and come to fruition. Things that have not. There is a lot on this board that have not come to life quite yet. I have like a skiing or snowboarding trip. I've never done a trip like that before. I have a lot of travel on here. I've got like a girl riding a camel in the desert. I don't know when I'm going to do that, but one day I'm going to do it. I've got a picture of a private chef on here. I've got big goals. I've got pizza and pasta and wine in Italy. Yeah, it's really funny. I've got #1 New York Times bestseller on here. I've got Forbes Women's Summit on here. I added a cool feature or whatever you want to call it to last year's vision casting workshop, and we are going to keep it this year too, but that's what some of those big ones are. I forget where I originally heard this idea, but I heard it and I brought it into last year's vision casting workshop. There's a page in the workbook that are the 10 possible failures, and I challenged everyone at last year's workshop to dream so incredibly big, to list 10 goals that were so massive and huge and audacious and so beyond out there that you were almost positive they were going to be considered failures this year. Just because I think sometimes, and you can see it when you go look back at like my 2020 vision board, sometimes we don't dream big enough. And so I put some really big ones on here. I have a scholarship that I would like Stylist Soul Tribe to provide one day. I'll tell you guys more about that one day when that can come to life. I have really big goals on here. And I think that's important because if not, these vision boards start looking the same every year and they're just not big enough and they're not audacious enough. And not that I'm not totally content with where I am. I absolutely am. I also think it's very important to practice contentment. I'm so beyond happy and grateful for everything that I have achieved and have accomplished. I think there's something powerful about just pushing beyond what you even think is real. And we'll see if one day some of those get to take place. So yeah, I have some really cool stuff on 2023. And one thing I've noticed about me personally is my boards get more and more crowded each year, which I've maybe heard the opposite of that in Soul Tribe members. I think they get almost a little bit more clear. But here's my thought with vision boards, and everybody has such different opinions, and I am in no way, shape, or form a perfectionist. I just figure, what does it hurt? Like, there's some things on there that I almost ran out of space and I covered them up with other pictures because I just believe in the power of manifestation, and I believe in the power of claiming something to be yours and then detaching from it and just letting the magic kind of surprise you if it's supposed to. So I know some people get really tripped up if they put things on their vision boards and they don't come to life, and that can be almost like triggering by the end of the year. I just am gonna say my personality trait is not that. I throw a million darts at the wall, and if something hits, I'm grateful for what hits, and I do not spend any time and energy on the things that haven't hit yet because I know if they're meant for me, they won't miss me. So I hope you guys claim a little bit of that, take a little bit of that energy into tomorrow's workshop for yourself as well. Okay, so over the last 5 years that I've been running Stylist Soul Tribe, I have created kind of a framework that I call the Stylist Soul Tribe Cycle of Success. You've maybe heard me mention it a little bit here and there in previous podcast episodes. If you've been following my content for a while, if you're in Soul Tribe, you definitely know what I'm talking about. But if you aren't aware of what I'm talking about, I'm pretty positive next week's episode is actually going to be a solo episode, and it's going to be a deep dive in the Cycle of Success. But just for a brief overview, there's 7 stages to the cycle of success. Stage 1 is mindset and stage 2 is vision. So during the vision casting workshop, we really dive into those 2 key stages. I really do think it's my zone of genius and where I feel the most confident coaching on and where I make the most impact coaching on is definitely mindset. It kind of comes naturally to me. I'm an Enneagram 7. It's just kind of where my magic lies a little bit. And then after mindset, I almost had vision be stage 1 in the cycle of success originally, because I just think it's so important to spend time in reflection, to spend time in intention setting, to know where it is you even want to go. People cross paths with me, they join my mastermind, they're looking for coaching, and I have to start with vision because you can't hit a moving target. If you're putting in all this energy into your life and your business and bettering yourself and making all of these changes, it's really important that you're clear on where it is you even want to go, because you may make all these changes and take these courses and implement these things into your business to get to the end and say, shit, this isn't even really what I wanted. So I think step 1 has to be, what is the vision? So in this vision casting workshop, I will have lots of prompts to pull that out of you. I know you may not have that on your own. Like I said, I do think that is kind of a bit of my superpower. I am confident that I can help you pull some of that vision out, but we have to start there. And my coaching always kind of revolves around vision being number 1. Help me see what vision you have for yourself, and then I'm going to help get you there, and I'm going to surround you with people that I'm confident can help get you there, but I need to know where it is that we're even heading before I can give you the tools and the connections to help get you there. It's really, really cool, obviously, like I just did, pulling back my boards. It's also really cool pulling back my students' boards and Soul Tribe members' boards and seeing their visions come to life. And I've asked some of them for some like testimonials and verbiage from their own experiences who have been to vision casting workshops, like what their biggest takeaways have been and how this has been like a game changer for them. And I'm going to read a little bit of words from my friend Kristen Code, who's in Stylist Soul Tribe. I asked her, reflecting on the last year, how did the vision casting workshop shape your 2023? She said the vision casting workshop helped shape 2023 into a more balanced and fulfilling year. Typically, when planning for the year ahead, my entire focus is on business. With the vision casting workshop, I was able to dream outside of my business and focus on a life I actually enjoy. I then asked her, what dreams or goals on your vision board have come to life this year? Don't hold back, I want all the details. She said, so many. This year's vision board was more personal than it was business, which honestly I believed helped me to be a better stylist because I wasn't seeking fulfillment from my business. I was learning what things I enjoyed and wanted outside of being behind the chair. I did a mini makeover on my bedroom. It used to be so dark and gloomy. I wanted a sacred corner that I could sit in and find clarity and peace. I created that, but so much more. My bedroom is now light and warm. The entire space is sacred, and I love being in there. She says, I read a lot this year. I believe I'm currently reading my 9th book this year. And looking at my vision board, the picture I chose is a stack of books with 9 books in it. She said, I'm a huge Lions fan, and now that they're actually winning some games, their tickets are out of budget for what I would want to spend. to go to a game, so I didn't really think much about making that one happen until I won tickets to go see them play on October 30th. As I look at my vision board, I realize how impactful the affirmations I chose to put up have been. What is for me will not pass me. Didn't I just say that? Has helped me with a lot of moments of needing to find patience. Quote, I can and I will has helped me when I have questions whether or not I was capable of something, and expect nothing, appreciate everything has helped me fill my heart with gratitude each day. I then asked Kristen, have you experienced any magical manifestations? Those surprises that came unintentionally, things like that. She said, the magic has been so strong, it's scary at times. I first noticed a pattern when I received medical clearance to start to go to the gym again after I broke my ankle. I had an elliptical image on my board, and when I got home from my last physical therapy appointment, it had fallen off. I hadn't paid attention, but prior to that, I had made an energy trifecta picture because I really wanted to take that course, and that image had fallen off the week that Stylist Soul Tribe announced that it would be hosting another round of it. Several of the images I selected for my bedroom remodel had peeled off as I put those things in my room. And last, I had an image of someone writing, and I didn't really know what I wanted for that. I think initially I intended it for it to be a reminder that journaling is a good release. But as soon as I was selected to be published in a local magazine and submitted my article, that image fell off. So there's obviously like the goal setting side of it, but there's also the magic, you can't make this shit up side of it that I just find so exciting. And that's why I keep posting these year after year. So last year, the vision casting workshop, I did like a 3-day Instagram live, like 3 live videos in a row. The year before that, I think I made the workbook, a freebie, but it was just available to Stylist Soul Tribe. And then every other year before that, it's just been a Stylist Soul Tribe thing. So this year, I have a new vision and a new intention. I'm trying to make this workshop bigger than it's ever been before. So there's a couple options. The workshop is completely free to everybody, the main portion of it. We are doing a VIP option this year that gives you tons more features, benefits, makes it a much more community and accountability driven experience. So those of you that are in Soul Tribe, don't worry, you've gotten an email, you get access to the VIP regardless. Those of you that are listening that are not in Stylist Soul Tribe currently, you can totally access this workshop for free. It is in a free Facebook group. I will have all the details in the show notes. You can get registered. After you register for free, there will be an option to upgrade to VIP, and it will share everything that's included with the VIP upgrade. It's just $24 for 2024. And you get so many things. So tomorrow, December 28th, I will be live from 10 a.m. Central to 12 p.m. Central. That's going to be day 1 of the Vision Casting Workshop. It's going to be a live experience. If you are joining us for free, the entire event will be streamed onto the Facebook group. So you can totally watch it streamed. You can participate in the comments however you want. You'll still get the downloadable workbook. You can totally be part of the experience for free. If you upgrade to the paid version, to the VIP version, you will get access to join that Zoom room personally. You won't be watching it streamed on Facebook Live. You will be in the Zoom room. So it's going to be a very interactive workshop. I'm going to be asking you guys questions. You can ask me questions. We are going to be in a Zoom room together, face to face in real time. And upgrading to the VIP option gives you access into that Zoom room, not just streaming and watching it. So you can totally do either one. On top of that, being VIP, you will also get a Marco Polo group. So this is the first time that we've ever done this. I'm really excited about it. It's definitely going to be like a trial thing. We've never done this outside of Stylist Soul Tribe, but inside my mastermind, we use the app Marco Polo all the time. And it's like where we keep communication, it's how we stay connected, and it's such an incredible tool that I thought it would be fun to have a, limited time Marco Polo group for vision casting workshop attendees. So not only will you get to be live in the calls, but you will also be added to this Marco Polo group where we are going to be having real-time conversation for the next 12 days, just picking each other's brains, connecting, creating connections, sharing how the workshop went for us, sharing what kind of things we're putting on our board, sharing what came up in reflection. We're going to be asking plenty of prompts and accountability, making sure you guys are completing the workshop and bringing your boards to life and telling us the deeper why behind everything on your board. There's something really powerful. And if you guys have been listening to this podcast, since episode 1, you know how much I believe in the power of the people that you surround yourself with. And I don't know what your current situation is and if you have big achievers and go-getters in your corner right now, but if you don't, it is life-changing. I highly encourage you to upgrade to the VIP and to participate in Marco Polo. It's going to feel a little bit scary at first. Who are all these strangers on the internet that I'm like sharing my heart and soul to? But it is powerful as fuck. I'm telling you that. So you'll get access to the Marco Polo. Like I said, you're going to be live in the Zoom rooms with us. We have put together a Pinterest profile with tons of different boards with tons of different themes. That was some feedback we got from last year's attendees is they have trouble finding images to put on their board. They overthink everything. They can't find good pictures. So we have been putting together Pinterest boards for weeks now of pictures with different themes of different things that you can put on your board. And you will also, last but not least, the VIP attendees, the VIP upgrades will get first access to apply for Stylist Soul Tribe Mastermind. I have not opened Soul Tribe in 6 months. I think I opened it in July. I typically only open it once or twice a year when we have a few spots available. So spots are very, very limited. If you have been listening to this podcast and you feel called or connected to the mission that I'm spreading, or the kind of life and business that I have been talking about on here, I would love for you to come to the Vision Casting Workshop, get a feel for what this community is like, and if you feel called to apply for Stylist Soul Tribe Mastermind, joining a mastermind in 2024, I am telling you right now, it is going to be the biggest upgrade you have ever made. There is something so powerful in regular accountability, in connecting with others who have similar goals and dreams as you, who have maybe been where you want to go, who have learned lessons that you need to learn. There's something so powerful about connecting in that way and showing up for yourself and your business in a different way in 2024. So that is the final perk of the VIP upgrade, as well as lots of other little things. But all of that information is going to be listed on the sales pages for the workshop itself and then for the upgrade. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. So like I said, this is a 12-day event in total. So day 1 is tomorrow, and we will be live on Zoom and streaming onto the Facebook group for 2 hours tomorrow. That's day 1 is live. Day 2 is also live from 10 a.m. Central to 11:30 a.m. Central. So 90 minutes on day 2, and then days 3 through 11, the experience for everybody is going to take place on Facebook. There's going to be lots of morning mindset motivation, journal prompts, things like that. There's going to be accountability. There's going to be plenty of engagement happening inside the Facebook group. And then for the VIPs, a lot of that engagement is also going to be taking place in Marco Polo. So you're going to make great new connections. You're going to find stylists that have similar goals to you, that are doing similar things to you inside the Facebook group and inside of Marco Polo. And then on day 12, we're going to do one more Zoom room, one more Facebook Live before we wrap everything up, before we close applications to Stylist Soul Tribe. And that is when I'd like for you guys to have your vision boards done by. And that is your final accountability check-in. Mark your calendars for January 8th at 3 p.m. Central, because that's when we're going to be doing our last final call. And I want to make sure everybody has their boards done by then, because I know if you guys are anything like me, you're a bit of a procrastinator and we need a deadline. So that deadline is going to be January 8th. That's also going to be the last day that Marco Polo conversation for grades will be together. And then I'll close that Marco Polo group down after that. And then either hopefully you move on into Stylist Soul Tribe and that becomes your regular form of communicating with me in the community. If not, obviously we'll be together again next year for the Vision Casting Workshop. So that is the plan for the next 12 days. I am so very excited. I feel like this is a lot of information that I'm sharing with all of you. So hopefully you are retaining this and this is making sense. All right. So that is the deadlines, dates, nitty-gritty details. I also wanted, since today, this episode is going out the day before the vision casting workshop, I also wanted to give you guys just some like last minute preparation. How can you be ready for tomorrow's vision casting workshop? So, as with any webinar or workshop, if you've never taken anything like this before, please don't be driving in your car. Please have like a quiet space, distraction free if you can. Mark time in your calendar to be fully present during the live calls. Some other things you can do to prep is print out the workbook, which you should get access to as soon as you register. So all of that will get dropped into your inbox. You will have access to print out the workbook and start to take a look at it ahead of time. Um, if you are somebody that has made vision boards in the past, some people like to do it with like magazine clipping. Some people like to print pictures out. Have that stuff ready. Get a poster board, get a glue stick, get scissors, stock your printer with ink, which I know is not cheap, but if you're anything like me, I like to have very customized, aesthetically pleasing images. So a lot of my pictures get printed. Have your magazines if that's what you want to do. Have your materials ready. I also want you to set an intentional atmosphere. Set the mood. Light some candles, diffuse essential oils, smudge the room with some sage or some Palo Santos, play some uplifting or calming music, pour yourself a drink, meditate, get the vibes right. Vision boarding is a very, in my opinion, I know this is kind of woo, but it's a very sacred, magical, powerful ritual and experience. And if you are frazzled and chaotic and grumpy, like getting the printer ink, getting these things together, that's the energy being put into your board. So you've got 24 hours, you've got time. I want you to just be intentional and get the like vibes and the energy and the atmosphere the best that it can be for tomorrow's workshop. And then I want you to enjoy the creative process. Have fun putting it together. Like I said, your energy while completing your board is the energy being put into manifestation. Enjoy this. You can do it alone. You can do it with a group of friends. There's no rules when it comes to this vision boarding, but I really want you to enjoy it. And I really want you to recognize the importance of your energy and the energy around you when this is being created. All right, last thing I wanted to touch on in this podcast episode is just some like commonly asked questions, some questions I've been receiving, some questions that might already be on your brain. I just want to clear any confusion you might have. What exactly is vision casting and how can it benefit me? I know I've been talking about that for the last 30 minutes or so, but to put it in short, vision casting is setting aside time before the new year to reflect and contemplate what you've done up to this point, whether it was the last year, the last 10 years, whatever, who you've surrounded yourself with, the moves you've made, the actions you've taken, the thoughts you've thought up to this point and how it has gotten you to where you are at this very moment. And then it's just setting an intention to decide where it is you want to go now. I'm a sucker for some new year, new me bullshit, but I will take a fresh start any chance I can get. I love my kids' first day of school. I love January 1st. I love Mondays. I love the first of the month. I love the first of the year. I love a moment in time, a bookmark to say, okay, this is the end of a chapter and the beginning of a new one. What can I learn from the last chapter that I just walked through? And what do I want to take place in the next chapter? And that's what vision casting is. So we're going to go over mindset, why it's important. We're going to talk law of attraction. We're going to talk all of these things. But why it matters to you is either if you've done these in the past, it's essential to do them regularly. You know, where you were a year ago may not be where you are now. If you've never done this before, it's going to change your life. I know that's dramatic, but it really is going to. So it's deciding to take reins of your own life and take control of where you've been and where you're going. So that would be, in short, what I would say is what vision casting is and how it can benefit you. Okay, if you're thinking, I've never made a vision board before, will this be easy for beginners? So I've touched on that a little bit as well. Yes, absolutely. It will take all the guesswork out of all things vision boards. I zoom in to a microscopic level to talk about all things vision boards. And I think for somebody who's never created a vision board in your life, it is the perfect first step to dipping your toes into this world. How much time should I set aside for the vision casting workshop? So, day one tomorrow is going to be a 2-hour experience together. Day two on the 29th is going to be 90 minutes. I'd love for you to set aside some special morning time every single day for all 12 days to just spend some time being intentional with your mindset. And then on the final day, January 8th at 3 p.m. Central, I'd love for you to set aside 1 hour. So that's the time I need, like, set aside undivided if you're going to participate live. There will be replays for all of it. If you can't make it work, if you're in the salon, totally understand. But it is much more beneficial if you're there live. So try to prioritize that if you can. Can I participate in the workshop if I'm not a hairstylist? I've been getting a lot of these questions since I've launched the podcast. Absolutely. If you are a beauty professional in any way, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. We actually just had a nail tech join Stylist Soul Tribe, and we've had estheticians in the past be in Stylist Soul Tribe. I say if you are a beauty professional in any way, absolutely. If you are a service provider in any way, absolutely. If you are an entrepreneur in any way, absolutely. If you are a human, very few things might be irrelevant to you because they'll be relevant to our industry, but I'm telling you guys, my people just happen to be hairstylists, but the things that I talk about and coach to have nothing to do with hair. So absolutely, you can come. If you are listening to this podcast, that means you're getting down with the things that I've been saying thus far. Please come. I would love for you to be there. Is there any interaction with other participants or is it a solo experience? So if you do the free version, you will be streaming. Everything will be streamed, so you can definitely interact inside the Facebook group, in the comments, things like that. If you upgrade to the VIP experience, it is a very group community focused experience. So between the Zoom call where we will all be on live talking in real time, the Marco Polo group is very community driven, definitely not a solo experience. And I encourage you, wallflowers and like lone wolves, to try to come into this craving connection and trying to create community because, like I've said before, that is my superpower, is creating connections. And the people who are drawn to me and my teachings are the best people in the world. Don't, mean to boast, but they are. And if there's going to be any place where you start looking for your people and kind of embracing that community over competition mentality, I promise you this is the safest place to do that. So I encourage you to make this a community-based experience. Next question I have is, what materials or tools do I need to prepare in advance? I already went over that. I highly recommend a full-size poster board. That's what I always get. A glue stick, maybe a couple in case they dry out or you use them all up. Lots and lots of printer ink and paper and scissors. And those are the main important things. All the other woo-woo, get the vibe right things I mentioned earlier, but those are the main things. What happens after the 12 days? Is there any follow-up or continued support? So after the 12 days, the Facebook group goes back to being the Stylist Soul Tribe Conversations Facebook group. The accountability and daily prompts will stop in that Facebook group. It's obviously a place that you can stay connected, though. The Marco Polo group will close down, but my hope and my intention is that those of you that this vision casting workshop really lands well with do end up applying for Stylist Soul Tribe, and then you join the mastermind for continued support. That's my hope and my intention. I just want to remind you guys, I am in Central Illinois, so all time zones, anything that I am saying, if I didn't say the time zone at the end of it, everything is in Central Standard Time. I know sometimes time zones make things confusing with this stuff. So Central Standard Time. Final question, what if I miss a live session? Will there be recordings available? All of the live streamed recordings will be in the free Facebook group forever. If you scroll way, way back on the Facebook group, you'll see that an event that we did in there 6 months ago is still there. So these materials will be there forever. As long as that Facebook group is still kicking, you will be able to scroll back and get the replays to all of this content. All right, friends, that is all of my talking points I had written down to go over the vision casting workshop that is kicking off tomorrow. I hope to see you there. To leave you with just a little bit of words of encouragement, I just want to remind you guys that you deserve to set aside time to be intentional. You deserve white space. You deserve to create the vision that you have for yourself. You pour into other people all the time, your clients, your family, your friends. That is a universal trait in our industry is we are people pleasers. We are always serving others. You deserve this time to be intentional and to start serving yourself. And I really hope that 2024 is the year that you either ramp that up a notch or you embrace that for maybe the first time ever. So, I would love to have you guys join me for the next 12 days during this experience. All of the information is in the show notes. I love you so much. Thank you for listening. And I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Bye.